There are other things going on, and life goes on. You've got things you've got to, maybe you had to go get that oil changed today. Maybe you've got to, you got to get the kids. Well, no, it's not school time yet. Boy, that's coming, though, pretty soon. Maybe you're doing some shopping today about that. Whatever, you've still got maybe people in your life who are a bit toxic, coworkers, family members. You got to distance yourself. How do you do that? And first of all, you got to determine, what does that mean, toxic? What does that mean? I know a guy. It's Tuesday. That means it's Dr. John Braccio Day, Regional Psychological Services, East Lansing. drjohnb.com on the web. Dr. Braccio, good morning. What is toxic? What's a toxic person? Hi.
Well, good morning to you, Mike. Toxic persons are those persons who try to diminish you, gaslight you, fight with you, and generally do whatever they can to make you feel bad about yourself. It continues to surprise me, Mike, in my work as a longtime psychologist and also as a person meeting with people as I walk the road of life, how many people have toxic people in their lives, and they stay connected to that, to that situation, and in spite of them saying that they wish that they weren't in their lives. When I ask them the obvious question as to why they continue to maintain the relationships, they sometimes seem surprised I would ask it. They then often say, well, they can't end it because they could be spouses, partners, family members, friends of friends, neighbors, church members, or whoever else. When they honestly discuss their topic, this toxic relationship, they admit how much happier they would be if they were no longer in their lives or if they would just change. They also admit that the person most likely will not change because that is just the way they are, and they have refused to change over and over again over the years, in spite of the emotional pain they know they cause. Once the person realizes that the person is not going to change and they determine to detach the toxic person from their life, regardless of who it is, then positive mental health progress and healing can occur for the abused person. In some cases, this is very hard to do, and persons may even decide to continue, at least for now, to maintain the relationship for one reason or another. Regardless of what you do, it's important in all your relationships to have boundaries, focus on self-care as an absolute priority, focus on self-worth, improvement, demand mutual respect, do not allow anyone but yourself to define who you are. And keep track of how you're doing in all relationships once your toxic relationship is ended. Once it is clear that you are with a toxic person in your life who's weighing on you emotionally and certainly impacting self-esteem and problems with anger, my general experience has been when you have a long-term relationship with someone who is toxic to you and you have attempted to change things over time, they do not change, that you then need to detach yourself from the toxic person from your life. Okay? I'm fully committed to making marriage work and having relationships with parents and friends. With that said, I also realize that some relationships become so toxic that they are totally destructive to the person, and it is best they determine to detach the person from their lives. When someone decides to do this, they generally will need friends who they can count on to support them, maybe a pastor or a priest, and potentially a therapist experienced with helping persons deal with extracting toxic people from their lives. And Mike, even if it's very difficult, the emotional self-esteem rewards from detaching the toxic person from your life will greatly outweigh the difficulties. If you're in one of these situations, they're very destructive. They can be really just damaging your whole self-esteem, how you see yourself, your interactions with others. It's really time to do some detaching, move forward, and really enjoy life. You'll enjoy life a lot more if you rid yourself of toxic people in your life.
Yeah. And tell me, well, you're the psychologist, you're the expert. That's why we go to you. But do you find people who maybe come to you and they're, well, I got these toxic people in my life, and then as they talk, it's revealed that maybe they're the toxic person and they're misreading everybody else? You see what I mean? They're looking through jaundiced sunglasses.
Well, I don't see that much. However, that does happen, though. You have to remember. Then you're having the person who claims to be a victim. Everyone's picking on me. Okay. And then you find out that their response is name calling, picking on, and saying, "Sure." I mean, there's always two sides to a coin. I mean, you can find the toxic person who sees themselves as a victim, and people are picking on them. And that is a separate category. However, in this case, we're talking about the person who really is dealing with toxic people that are demeaning to them, mock them, find fault with them, gaslight them, or fighting with them. So that's who we're talking about. But sure, you're always going to find the person who does the victimizing playing the victim. Like, I can't believe it. I just called him an idiot and a dummy, and he got mad. I mean, my goodness, you know. Why is that? That's another. You also have people that want to justify what you would call toxic behaviors, just saying, "Well, I just tell the truth." You know, I'm a truth teller, and they don't like it. You know, that guy is an idiot. I mean, can't think clearly, doesn't deserve anything good in life, and I just let him know. Why should I think that somebody who's doing the wrong thing, as I determine, of course, that they ought to have a happy life? So, yeah, you're going to run into some of them. Often they're not in counseling. They often are the people that are just out causing trouble. People that normally are in counseling, in most cases, are suffering or they're trying to function in a way more effectively. Whereas often the toxic people, they see themselves as doing what they feel they have to do, if they're sociopaths or people that are just manipulative, they do it because they like to do it. They like to be toxic. They like to give you a hard time. There are people like that, Mike. It's unfortunate, but
I've got some in my family. I've got some in my family that it's like they swim in this cesspool of negativity, and they don't feel right if everything is okay.
And
it's
they want you, and
weird.
They want you in it. It is strange, but there are people that really don't want people happy, and they want to convince them. Sometimes they're very small people emotionally, and they're unhappy people, so they really want someone else to be unhappy. Like, if you say it's a nice day, they're going to say, "Prove it." What do you mean it's a nice day?
What do you mean it's a nice day? Are you kidding me? Have you seen the amount of sunshine out there? It's crazy. Yeah, that's it's like if there's no drama, there's no fun, or something. I don't know how you put it, but all right.
Well, that is true. There are people like that, Mike. A lot more of them than you might think. People that just thrive on discord, thrive on causing issue, and they lie. Often they will lie. They'll also gaslight you if you even go after them and say, "I wish you wouldn't talk to me that way." What do you mean I'm not talking? I'm talking to you that way because the way you react to me. Come on. Just so it's a bad life if you're with them, and your life is a lot easier if you can detach yourself physically. Sometimes you can detach yourself a bit emotionally, and once you can define what's going on. But it's pretty hard to do when you get with a pure toxic, destructive, negative person. You're best not to have them around, and if you have to under some circumstances, then just limit any contact that you do have to help yourself be a content and happy person.
My mother was a Southern belle. Her and her sisters, they were genteel Southern ladies, grew up, I've said this before, depression, everything, but they were also nice. And here's what's funny is even if you were really toxic, so to speak, around them, they had a way of just kind of pushing you off. You know what they would say? "Well, bless your heart." Oh, well, bless your heart. And you knew that it was like, yeah, well, you're not worth it. Yeah, well, bless your heart. You get out of my way now. It was so nice. Hey, listen, we're up on time. Doc Braccio, Regional Psychological Services, drjohnb.com on the web. Doc, another successful day. Have a great day. We'll talk next week.
Always a pleasure, buddy. Bye-bye.
See you later. Seriously, Mom, and my Aunt Jean she had the accent still. My mom grew out of it. Aunt Jean was so perfect. Well, bless your heart.